feel free to send me an email. Let's look at 1.2 real quick. Okay. The first question is a simple interest. So $650 invested for 1 year at a 14% interest rate. Okay, so the formula I will give you in the previous class, interest rate, why is not working? Interest rate is PRT, too light. So interest rate is PRT. For this one is I equals PRT. I is the interest, P is the principal. Principal is 650, and R is the interest rate. Interest rate is 14%. Well, you know that 14% is equivalent as 0.14, 2 decimals. It's pretty much like 14 divided by 100. Okay. The multiple time, T's time is 1 year. So then you can use a calculator to do that. 650 multiplied by 0.14, then multiplied by 1. They got the right answer, okay? First one. Second one, a rectangle has a width of 54. Second one. So if the rectangle has a width of 54 and the parameter 218, what's the length? So basically you have rectangle, so this is the 54 and this is the x. Okay, the parameter is 218. Basically you double of your x, you have another x here, you have 54 here, and if you look at the parameter, it's double of the length, double of the width. So it's 2 times x plus 54 equals 218. Okay, then you solve for x. It's a pretty simple one. You distribute it 2 times that, and subtract it, okay? So you do not need help with that simple equation. And then you solve x for this one. Number 3, so number 3, 2 sides of a triangle have the same length. The third side measure 3 less than twice the common length. The parameter is 17. What are the 3 sides? Okay, so basically we have a triangle. Why is this? I have a triangle. These 2 are the same, so x and x. Third is 3 less than twice of the common, so it's 2x minus 3. And it also says the parameter is 17, so you add all 3 together equals 17. So x plus 2x minus 3 equals 17. So you can solve for x here. And you solve for x and you find the size. Okay. Number 4. Number 4. The second side of a triangle, you can see the answer is already on the if you want to say answer is right here, even I didn't solve it, so it still has the right answer right here. So second side of a triangle, a triangle that is 3 feet along the shortest one. So basically we have another triangle. Okay, you can tell this is the smallest one, this is the longest one, this is the second one. So the second one is 3 longer than the first shortest one. So x is 3 longer than that. The longest one is 3 shorter than twice of the shortest one. So it's 2 twice of x, but this 3 less than is 2x minus 3. And the parameter is 56. You add all 3 together equals 56. So x plus 2x minus 3 plus x plus 3 equals 56. Pretty simple. X plus 2x plus x is 4x. Negative 3 and 3 cancel out is 56, and x equals 14. So plug x into those 2, you can find the other 2 sides. Next one. The parameter of a rectangle is 600, or the dimension of the rectangle is 10 units more than width. Okay. So you have a rectangle. You have a this is 5. So you have a rectangle the width and length, suppose the length is x, sorry, the width is x, the length is going to be 10 more than the width, so it's x plus 10. The parameter is 600 yards, so this is a 6x plus 10, this is the x together, everything together. Add all four sides together equals 600. So it's basically double of the length, double of the width. Sorry, length and width together equals 600. And you solve for that. Or this is exactly the same thing as you do x plus x plus x plus 10 plus x plus 10 and equals 600. It's the same thing. Okay, these two equations are exactly the same. You solve for x. So you got 2x plus 10 equals 300 and 2x equals 290 and x equals 145. So this is 145, this is 155. Okay, this is how you solve for number 5. Number 6. Okay. A recycling bin is a three-dimensional. Oh, my bad. Number 6, you have a recycling bin. Three-dimensional. 19.6 H. Right. Wait, 19.5. So 5. Okay. So it says the surface area is 526. The surface has 6 sides. It says the given surface area includes the top of the box. The box of the top is included. So we have 6 sides actually. What do we need to do? We add all the 6 sides area together. We'll double of each side. Okay. So first the base. So it's 19 times 5 is the base area. For this side area, so it's 5 times h. For this side, for the front side is 19 times h, because length times width, well, the base times height, either one is the same idea. You add this side, this side, this side, but for each one, you have two sides. You have an additional one. For the base, you have the top. For the front, you have the behind. Okay. For the left, you have the right. So the double of the side area equals 625. Oh, 526. So 526. Now you solve that. I think you solve that for h equals 7. You can solve that. Okay. Divide both sides by 2. Subtract 95 divided by 4. Divided by 24. Next one. Seven. In the morning, Maria drove to business appointment at 60 miles per hour. Her average speed, the return trip is 50. The return trip is 1/5 longer than the traffic. Okay. So basically, we're going to use the S equals V times T. V is velocity, or the speed times the time. S is the distance. And then if you go to some place, you could go backwards and return. Go and return. You're going to have the same distance. Okay. And you go from A to B, and then return from B to A. You are going to have exactly the same distance. But it says 60 to go, so 60 drove to appointment at 6 miles, returned to the afternoon 50. So okay, so 60 times t equals return is 50 times. But if your speed is lower, you have more time. So it's 50 times the same time t by 1/5 plus 1/5 t. Sorry, is t plus 1/5 1/5 hour longer. So t plus 1/5. Then solve for t. So 6t equals distributed plus 10. So you got 10t equals 10. You solve for t equals 1 hour. So now t equals 1 hour, the distance is going to be 60 miles per hour times 1 hour equals 60 miles. Okay. So that's how you do this one. Next one. I believe it's very similar. Drove to work to 35 minutes, but then he takes trains back, takes 15 minutes, find the distance, so it's the same as. Travels the average. Find the distance, travels to work if train travels average of 80 faster than he's driving. Okay. So suppose he's driving. Suppose the driving speed is v, then the train speed is going to be 80 plus v. Okay, but you're going to have the exact same distance. Okay, so this is per hour. Okay, and the problem gives you is for minutes. So you're going to have 35 over 60 times t equals only 15 minutes for train. Okay, so it's 15 over 60 times v, because this is your t. Okay, this is your t. 35 minutes over 60 minutes is how many hours, and multiplied by the speed is v, and this is the time t to go by train, and then your speed is 80 plus v for the speed of the train. Then solve for v here. The 60 you can cancel out, so you got 35v. You can equals 15 times 80 plus 15v. So you're going to have 20v equals 15 times 80. So v equals 60 miles per hour. Okay. So, well, then you have to find out the distance. So distance equals velocity times t, and in 60, v equals 60, so 60 miles per hour times 35 minutes over 60 minutes, so together it multiplies, it cancels out, is 35 miles. Okay, so this is how to do it. Number 9. John ran the 100 meters dash with a time of 9.87 seconds. If the pace could be maintained the same for 26 miles marathon, what would his time be? Okay, so first we need to find out 26 miles. 26 miles, we want to know 26 miles equivalent to how many feet. Okay, so we multiply by 5,228 feet. Okay, this is 26 times that is how many feet equivalent to 26 miles. And if we divide by, so let me show you, 26 miles equivalent to 26 multiplied by that is the feet. We convert the mileage into feet. Then convert feet into meters. So divided by 3.281. The top is feet, the bottom is feet per minute, so per meter. So this one you can convert that back into how many meters? Because the speed it gives us is meters. Okay, so now we have 26 multiplied by 5,280 equals divided by 9.87. So it's 13,908 meters. Okay. So this is unit convert. I believe you can do it online as well. You do unit convert. but I want you to know how to do it, like convert the mileage to meters. Now you have the meters, this is the distance. We want to know this distance, the time. Time equals what? Time equals S over V, distance over your speed. So distance is given now is 13,908 meters. Okay. We'll just keep those two, keep one decimal at least. Okay. And divide the speed. Speed is 9.87 per 100 meters, 9.8 seconds. So basically, a speed is 100 meters divided by 9.87 seconds. This is your speed. Okay. 100, the distance divided by the time is your speed, and S over V is going to be your time. So now you find that one is, if you divide it by a fraction, you multiply by the reciprocal. So it's 13,908.8 multiplied by reflected over 9.87 over 100. You're going to have something, you see, multiplied by 9.87 equals divided by 100. Something's wrong. Let me see. 26 multiplied by 5280 equals divided by 3.281. Oh, my bad. 41840. I did something wrong here. 41840.9. 41840. I can make just 41 because that's just the 41841. You round up to previous one. Okay, put it here. The same idea, but I'm not going to write it again. So it's 41841. Okay. Then divided by 100 multiplied by 9.87. So it's 4,129 seconds. Okay. You need to convert this second into hours and minutes. So if you use that divided by 1 hour equals 6 minutes equals 3,600 seconds. So 1 hour equals 60 minutes equals 3,600 seconds. I think this is a pretty obvious thing. Everyone knows that. So if you divide it by 3,600 seconds, it's going to be 1 hour first. Okay. And then this is the remainder. So first of all, you need a 1 hour. And then 529 divided by 529 seconds divided by 60 get minutes. So 8. So it's 480. So it's 940. This is the remainder again. And 8 minutes. The last one remainder is 49 seconds. Okay. Number 10. Jen took 30 minutes to drive her boat upstream, come back later the same day at same speed, and took her 15 minutes. And current is 5, still water. Okay, so 30 minutes upstream, 15 minutes back, and okay. So basically, you have 30 minutes over 60 minutes is half an hour. This is V minus 5. Okay, V is the current. V is the speed in the water. still water. Okay, V is this. If you go with the current, you add the 5. The current speed is 5. Okay. If you go against the current, it's V minus 5. So the first one is if you're against it, it takes longer time, and then it's 15 minutes over 60 minutes, V plus 5. Okay. This is the speed you go against the water. This is the speed you go with the current. Okay, so then V time is time T times V equals T times V. Like both are the same distance, go back and forth. Okay. So let's solve that. 60 can cancel it out. Okay. This time speed times speed. So 60 cancel it out. You have 30V minus 150 equals 15V plus 75. Now subtract that. 15V equals 225, and then V equals 15 kilometers. Is it kilometers per hour? Yes. I need to do per hour. It's not that fast. Okay, that's it. How many gallons of 90 antifreeze solution must be mixed with 80 gallons of 10% antifreeze to get mixture of 80% of antifreeze? Use the 6 steps method. Alright. I didn't read that 6 steps method. Probably you need to read that as well, but it's going to be the same idea to do that. So first, how many gallons of 90% of antifreeze? So first we know it's 90%, which is 0.9. We don't know how many, just say X. We mixed with 80 gallons, and the solution is 80%. Wait, my bad, it's 10%. So it's 0.1. Mix those two, which is add, and equals. Then the new solution is 80%. And if you add those together, you have X plus 80. Okay. Then we set up the equation as 0.9 times X plus 0.1 times 80. Basically, if the solvent is exactly the same. Even if you add those one, you have the exact amount of solvent. So this one is 0.8 times X plus 80. Then you solve for X. You can multiply everything by 10. The decimals goes away, so it's 9X plus 80 equals 8X plus 640. So X equals 560. Okay. Now 12 is the same thing. I'm not going to solve that again, since it's exactly the same, but I can tell you how to do it. How many quarters of pure antifreeze? Pure antifreeze, you change that into 1. 1.0, because 100% pure, okay? Must mix with 5 quarters of 10%, so it's still 10%, but this is the 5. And then to obtain 20% of that, so change that into X plus 5 because of that. That's what percent? 20%, so you have 0.2. Then you set up the equation 1.0x plus 0.1 times 5 equals 0.2 times x plus 5. You multiply everything by 10, then you solve for x. Okay, it's pretty simple. How much water should be added to 10 milliliters of 17 alcohol solution to reduce the concentration to 5%? It's pretty much the same idea. The solvent, how much water should be added to? Okay, so now you have 10%. 10 milliliters of 70% alcohol. So it's 17% of alcohol. Okay, so you're going to add water. There's no alcohol in it, but just purely add water. So now you have, suppose I add X water, so x plus 10. And then, wait, my bad. So your alcohol amount is the same, even you add water into it. The amount of alcohol never change. This is the amount of alcohol from the previous one. Now you have 10 plus x. You add a water into that. You still you still have a solution, but the new alcohol is going to be 5%. The concentration is 5%. Then you solve this one. You multiply both sides by 100 to get rid of the percentage. So it's 170 equals 10 plus x times 5. And you solve for x. Okay? Pretty simple. Okay, Ralph Chase plans to sell a piece of 140,000, and he wants money to be paid off in 2 ways: a short-term loan at 10% interest, a long-term at 8% interest. Find the amount of each. Now, if the total annual interest is 127,000. Okay. Let's look at this one. So you have two different amount of interest, or two different amount of loans. Well, sell a piece of property. Okay, he wants the money to be put off in 2 ways. Okay, he deposit. Okay, so the first one is 8%, 10%. The second one is 8%. Okay. So now interest rate is 112,700, and suppose this is x, this is y. Okay. So now the total amount of that is x plus y equals, the total amount of money is 140,000. Then the total interest amount is 12,700. The interest amount generated from 10% is just the 0.1, which is 10% x. The amount generated, the interest generated from the 8% is 0.08, which is 80% of y. Then you solve this equation system and find out what is x, what is y. I think if you took Math 105, you know how to solve this equation system, right? But I'll give you a little bit help here as well. So if x plus y equals 140,000, then you multiply the second equation by 10. Well, you don't have the decimal for this one anymore. So you're going to have x plus 0.08 y equals that. You add one more 0, multiply by 10. Then subtract it. Subtract those two equations. Subtract x, cancel out. Subtract is 0.2y. Subtract this one, you give it 3 zeros first. And subtract it 3. Subtract that is 1. So then you solve for y, which is 65000. As for y, then you plug y into this equation, you find x equals 7500. Okay. I think, let me see, if I'm planning to deposit some money for that interest twice as much as deposit that, find the amount, that is the 605. Well, it's very similar, but it's not exactly the same, but it's very similar actually. Okay, so deposit some money, we don't know how many, right? Just say x. Because it's twice as much as 2%, I would do 2% as x. So 2%, the other one is 1.5%. Since this is twice as much as this one, I would assume this is x. Then 1.5% is twice as much as this, so this is 2x. Okay, now we are just setting up the interest. The total amount of interest is 605. So you add the interest rate. The first interest rate is 0.015 x, 2x. So it's 0.0215 times 2x. The second one is 2%, so 0.02 times x. Then the total interest is 605. And then you multiply everything by 12. By 100, okay, by 100 you can solve for x. You multiply this by 100 is 1.5 times 2x. You multiply this by 100 is 2 times x equals 605. Then you solve that is 3, this multiply this is 3x, this is 2x, together is 5x equals 605. Then you solve for x. Okay. Wait, I missed the 2 zeros here. If I multiply 100, okay, there's a 200, there's a 100 here. Okay. So then you solve for x and you plug it back into, you got 2 of them. Let me see this one. A mother earned 18,750 from the royalties on her cookbook. He set aside 20% of it for down payment of a new home. The balance used for 2 different ways to invest. Earns 4% and remaining saving amount earns 7%. The total interest is $900. How much money was invested each rate? Okay. It's the same idea as the previous one. So, the money to get previously is 18,750. 18,750 before. But 20% of this money has been used for down payment to buy a new home, so that's gone. So we only actually have 18,750 multiplied by 80%, which is 0.8. Okay, you can write 80%, 0.8 is the same thing. You can write down 80%. This is the total of money she will put into different account. Okay, you need to find this first. Now we don't know how many for the first one, how many for the second one. Okay, we know the first interest is 4%, which is 0.04. The second one interest is 0.07%, and we know total amount, because 20% has been in for the new home, so the rest will be put in 2 accounts. So the total amount is 18,750 times 0.8. Well, the interest money amount is times x plus this times y equals, that's the interest, equals 900. Okay. So you solve this linear system. You can multiply the second equation by 100, then multiply the first equation by -4, and add them together. You can solve for x and y. I will not explain how to solve this equation again because we have the previous example again as well. So you can refer back to is you can use the elimination method to solve the linear equation system. 17. Let me see. Okay. So membership warehouse clubs offers shoppers a lower price. Basically, you spend money, they give you cash back, pretty much like that. But you have to pay $100 membership fee. So first one, determine actually yearly cost of membership fee of club purchase for the year $2,800. So basically plot $2,800 into that function. That's your cost model. So the first one is y equals 100 minus 0.02x, right? You plug 2,800 into the equation. So y equals 100 minus 0.02 times 2,800, and you solve that. Whatever you got is going to be the answer for the first one. Okay. So second one is that amount of cost is $45. So basically, you have 45 is the cost. and then 100 minus 0.02x, and x is how much money you have to spend to reduce the cost, reduce the 100 to 45. So you solve here, from this equation you solve x, and then it's going to be the answer for B. C, basically ask you how much money you have to spend to off balance the $100, which means you have $100 back, cash back, and you don't have to pay anything for the club membership fee. So basically, it asks you, it means you pay 0 for the membership fee, and you get 100 minus. Okay, then you solve for x. This one is pretty simple. You got x equals 5,000. Basically, if you spend 5,000 a year, you're gonna get $100 cash back. And you can use that $100 cash back to pay that membership fee, which means you paid nothing for the membership. Okay, that's what it means. Number 18 is, there's the only thing you need to pay attention is when x equals 0 is 2003, x equals 1 is 2004. You just match it up, then it should be easy. You have to match the first one. If x equals 0 is 2003, okay, and 2004 you got 1. You see the difference is 3. If you continue until to 2008, your x actually equals 5. You can see the difference actually is 2003, right? So x equals 5. Plug the 5 into the equation, you're going to get the answer for the first one. So y equals 0.2145 times 5 plus, the number is 15 point something, 15.69. And this is the first answer. The second one is number B. Basically give you y, find x. So B 17 equals 0.2145 x plus 15.69, and you solve for x, give you the B answer for B. And then C and D. Well, D you have to do a negative because you go back to 1993 for C, and then the x actually equals -10. Plug the x equals -2 into a function, you got that. Okay. Number 19. Okay, so number 19. Is concentration of a chemical called formaldehyde. We just call this F chemical. In the air exceeds 33 microgram per feet cube. A strong odor and irritation to the eyes often occurs if it's very strong. Then 1 square feet of hardwood, plywood, paneling can emit 3,365 microgram of F chemical per day. A 4x8 sheet of this panel is attached to the wall move room having floor dimensions of that. Okay, the total area of the hardwood is 32 feet square. If there's no ventilation in the room, write an linear equation that models the amount of that in x days. Okay. So now it's 32 square feet. 1 square feet it actually emit 3,036.5 microgram, and then 32 square feet. So it's going to be 32 multiplied by per day. Per square feet is 3,000. So 3,063.65 or 85. 3365, and then that's your That's 1 day for 32 square feet. Now it says X days, right? So just X. And that's your answer. Let me use the calculator. 32 multiplied by 3365 equals, just copy that and paste into here, and then X. Yep. Okay. So now continue. How long will it take before the person's eyes become irritated in the room? So basically, you have to pay attention that the unit here is hours. This is per day. Okay, this is day, and it's 107,680 X. Okay, now 1 day it will animate that microgram. So now you have this the volume or the space of the room is, we need to find out the space of the room, which is 10 by 10 by 8, which is 800 cubic feet. Okay, and then if it's 33 microgram per cubic feet, you feel uncomfortable, you feel irritation. So now we have 800 cubic feet. So the total amount that this room can hold is 800 multiplied by, this is 800 cubic feet. 1 cubic feet you can hold 33, so 800 cubic feet can actually hold that amount of the chemical. So the total amount of the chemicals is going to be 800 multiplied by 33, which is 264,000 microgram. Okay. Now, this is the total amount. This is a day. This is per day. You have that. You emit the chemicals emit that much. Now we need to convert that to hours. Like how many per hour? Then we know 1 day is that much amount. Then if we divide this number by 24, we got how the amount per hour. So then we divide it, we got the hours. Okay. So this is the limit of the amount of the chemical. Then this equals 100. Sorry, my bad. 107,660 divided by 24 is how much per hour is the amount per hour. Divided by 24, 4486. 4486.67 per hour. Okay. Now I can only hold that much amount. This is the limit the room can hold. Okay. So now, before you feel irritation, if you feel irritated, then this one divided this one is how long. Then it will reach to this amount. Now you can use 26400 divided by 44. This is the total amount, 4486.67, and this give you the hours. Okay, so 20. Multiplied by 26400. Let me see. 26400 divided by 86.67 equals, so 5.88. So it's going to be 6 hours. Okay, that's right. Now I have to move this away. Next question. Number 10 is very simple. I will not explain the number 20. It's too simple. 1 hour is one is faster, the other one is slower. So 1 hour they're 40 miles away from each other. So 2 hours they're 28 miles away from each other. 3 hours later they are going to be 42 miles from each other. So that's basically how to do 1.2. Since the 1.2 is word problems, so that's why I give you a lot of help here. In the future, if the problems are very similar, probably I'm not going to give you help on one-on-one, like every problems. Sometimes if you need help, you can click question help. It actually give you a few example, help me solve this. And you know in the software, let me continue, let me tell you. In the multimedia library, you can learn this, you can find the videos. You can go all chapters, chapter 1, now 1.2, and it's like the multimedia textbook, video, PowerPoint. You can find all of them here, and you can watch the video, watch the PowerPoint, reading the textbook here.